of book session Autobiography of a Yogi by Master Paramahansa Yogananda. And Master, today we are on chapter number 12 of the book, which is Years in My Master's Hermitage. So we will be covering chapter number 12 and also chapter number 13, which is the Sleepless Saint. So as always, let's pay our gratitude and humble reverence to the Divine Mother, to Mahavatar Babaji, Lehri Mahasyaji, and Swami Sri Yukteswarji for their guidance, love, and wisdom to all of us. And Masters, I request you all to please close your eyes and let's hear a chant which pays reverence and gratitude to all the gurus in our life, whether in the physical form, whether in the astral form. Please close your eyes, Masters. Gently opening your eyes, Masters. And since we are meeting after 2 weeks, Masters, so if anyone would like to share what we had discussed in the last session, that would be a quick revision for us. So please feel free to unmute yourself and share.
Ruchi, I think I'm the best student. Probably I would like to give this opportunity to people who would like to share anything.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Now let's see if anyone comes up, or otherwise I will be sharing.
I was wanting to share, Didi.
Yes, please go ahead, Archana ji, please.
Hi, Ruchi Didi.
Hi,
It's an honor
Archana
to
ji.
see you. Yeah.
Oh, I'm also so liking to see you again, Archana ji.
Yeah,
Good to see
Didi.
you. Yes.
Didi, I wanted to share one thing, that when I started this Anapanasati meditation, I had so many visions coming and frequently coming on my ways that I was little scared, because whenever I used to open my eyes, my days were not normal usually. I used to feel that I'm out of my body and I'm out of my mind and something is not stable in me. So out of scares, I was so scared that I dropped this idea of continuing this journey to be with Anapanasati meditation. So kindly suggest and give your guidance in this behalf.
Okay, so Archana ji, why do we meditate? We meditate to realize that ultimate truth, that we are a soul, that we are spiritual beings who has been given this human body to work out our karmas. And as you said that you don't feel your body, you don't feel your mind. So this clearly shows that meditation is so wonderfully working, as it is helping you transcend your body, transcend your mind, transcend your intellect, and get in communion with the divine, get in communion with that thoughtless state where all the truth lies. So Archana ji, please don't give up your practice of meditation. You're doing absolutely okay. And you know, when we start with the practice of meditation, we do feel a little fearful because everything is new to us. But as we continue with our practice, we feel empowered. We feel an invisible hand from the divine, always guiding us, always loving us. So please be assured that you are doing everything right. And the more you meditate, the more that higher self will talk to you and will guide you. So that is my suggestion and my guidance for you, Archana ji. And when you meditate, then your breath will guide you. Your meditation will guide you through your life, that you will not require anyone to seek guidance from.
Thank you so much, Didi. So I wanted to start it from the basic again. So do we have such group where I could rejoin the group and could start the meditation from the basic?
So Nilima, would you like to answer this?
Think Ram, maybe I think he knows more about the other groups if there is any basic thing. Where are you from, Archana ji, by the way?
I am from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh.
From India. Okay, okay. Yeah. Yes, Ram, please.
So Archana ji, you're searching for a group in Lucknow, India, right? This is what I understand, right?
Online, virtually, yeah.
Okay, okay. So we will check with few friends in India and share to you the WhatsApp group link.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, maybe you can drop your number to me personally, or you can write me on WhatsApp. I'll share you my number.
So, yes, Ruchi, coming back to your session, I think, as I mentioned, I'm the best student. Yeah. So, in the previous session, we have discussed about the first thing is like how the armlet has vanished from the Yogananda's hand, and the beautiful story that you have narrated about his Vrindavan journey. You know, it was such a wonderful thing. How one, like when one trusts God, when one trusts themselves, everything falls into the place, and that Vrindavan is something that we all should learn from, that to trust ourselves. And I mean, I'm not going much into details, but the moment your session is finished, like I was keep on discussing with all of my friends, so that like it's I keep pondering on those points. And finally, he meets Guruji Krishnananda, and he prefers to know a bit about his personality, and he keep asking questions, and how Guruji Krishnananda narrates about fear, about the material possessions, about like how the perceptions also form from mother's womb, like especially the third one that Guruji Krishnananda shared about accepting the job, like. So this is in a nutshell that we have discussed in our previous session.
So it's Swami Shri Yukteswar ji and not Guruji Krishnananda ji. I see that you
Yeah, I
recall
don't know why.
Guruji Krishnananda ji so many times. So I think you have a connection with Guruji Krishnananda ji somewhere.
I think so, Ruchi. That's true. I did not even realize again till the moment you've mentioned. Yeah. Thank you.
So yes, now.
I think we are not seeing the full screen, Ruchi.
Okay, are you not? Okay, so just give me a minute. I will share the screen again. Okay, let me share the screen again then. So yes, masters, now now Paramahansa Yogananda ji is with his guru, Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, in his ashram, and he's having so many learning experiences, so much wisdom he is having, and because of Paramahansa Yogananda ji, we too are able to have so much of wisdom through this book. And I am not sure why I'm not able to get to the slide that I want to present. It's again and again going from the first slide. Just a moment again. Okay, so is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, masters, now we know that Yogananda ji's guru, Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, he has told Yogananda that now you should resume your studies. That is, now you should enroll yourself for the bachelor's degree from Calcutta University. And though Yogananda is a bit reluctant because he just finished his high school studies and now he thought that he's free from studying and now he can concentrate all of his mind and all of his time in meditations, in experiencing that divinity. But now here is his own guru telling that no, you again have to study further. And Yogananda, he says that, okay, I will do this only if you promise me that you will give me that divine experience, that you will help me experience that divinity within. And Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, he promises that, yes, he will give that divine experience to Yogananda. So, I think you're again not able to see my slide because I have
Which
just
slide were you presenting? Because we can see the title page, like the book
I
that has the
have moved
magic
on
teaching.
from that slide. I moved on from that slide.
Maybe it might take a bit of time.
We can see it, Didi, Yogananda at the age of 16. This slide
Oh,
you're talking
yes,
about,
yes,
right?
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Archana.
I can see.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. What is happening? Just sorry, friends. Okay. Finally back, friends. So now, friends, during that time when Yogananda ji, he was with his guru, he was very frail, as you can see from this picture. And, he had tried so much to regain the weight that he always wanted to be, a little plump. And he had tried medicines, tonics, having fatty food, whatnot. But all of his efforts, they did not proved a little bit of helpful to him. And then Swami Shri Yukteswar, he also noticed his frailty and he told Yogananda that you are too thin. And Yogananda said that, Guruji, I have taken so many medicines, tonics, but nothing has worked so far. And to this, friend, Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, he told such beautiful words to Yogananda. He said that medicines have limitations, but the creative life force has none. Believe that, and you shall be well and strong. And Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, he said these words with determination, with conviction, and to the amazement, in just 2 weeks' time, Yogananda, he gained the weight that he always dreamt of, and all his stomach ailments, they vanished permanently. So, how did this happen? It was his guru's grace that healed him. And later, Yogananda, he also witnessed how his guru, Swami Shri Yukteswar, He healed a number of people suffering from diabetes, from epilepsy, from tuberculosis, paralysis, and many other fatal diseases. So friends, when I read these lines that medicines have limitations, but the creative life force has none, because if we as mortal beings, if we want to achieve something, if we want to manifest something for the higher good, and we being mortal beings, we have certain limitations within us. But when we connect to that divinity for manifesting that good, then do you think that anything can limit us? No. Since Yogananda, he wanted to be, he wanted to get rid of the ailments. He wanted to have a body that he always dreamt of. Why? So that he can lead his life to help humanity. And his guru, through the grace of his guru, through the grace of the divine, he was able to manifest. So, if even we want to have something which is for the higher good, then, ask from that divine connection. Work for that manifestation from divine consciousness and not from your own individual consciousness. You are understanding the difference between the two. Because if we want, if we work, if we try to have things in our life from a limited consciousness, then it is very, very hard, because as a physical mortal being, we have limitations. But if we connect to that divinity, all the limitations will just pass by, and we would, it would, in no time, we would realize what we want. And mind you, what we want, it should be for the highest good and not to harm anyone, not for, not for any negativity, nothing, because that won't work out. That won't work out ever. So going forward, friends, now Yogananda ji is with his guru in his ashram, and in his guru's ashram, he meditates a lot. And what happened one day was that while Paramahansa Yogananda, he was meditating. So Swami Shri Yukteswar ji, he observed that Yogananda's mind was not fully concentrated in his meditation, and he said to Yogananda that although you are meditating, but in your mental background, I see that you're having 3 visions. So can you imagine that his guru can even see what visions Yogananda is having in his meditations? Isn't that amazing? And Swami Shri Yukteswar said that, I see that in your visions, you're having 3 institutions. And the first institution, he said that it is a retreat on a plain, as you can see on the screen. So, this institution, we will learn that how this institution, it materialized, it fructified, and Yogananda, he found the first boys' school. He founded the first Yogoda Brahmacharya Vidyalaya in Ranchi. So he saw this institution in his vision. And the next vision he saw was, he saw that a big institution is formed on a Los Angeles hilltop. And we will see how in future this vision also, it manifested when this institution, it got, came into existence by being the American headquarters of the self-realization organization in Los Angeles. And then the third vision that Yogananda saw was a hermitage, which was overlooking the vast Pacific Ocean. And this also we will see how when Yogananda, he went to the US, he founded a hermitage in Encinitas in California. So friends, these 3 visions, they were not just random musings, or not just random reflections that Yogananda saw in his meditations. Rather, these were so important events that we will see how they got manifested later in his life. So, even we might be having, we might be seeing some visions in our meditations about our past, about our future, but we might not be having a guru like Swami Sri Yukteswarji who could tell precisely what we saw in our visions during our meditation. So such was, such was the power and such was the grace of his guru Swami Sri Yukteswar. And he was so powerful, Swami Sri Yukteswar, that he could be easily aware of the past, present, and future of any person. Still, he never flaunted. Still, he never had an ostentatious display of these powers. He could also say that I prophesy that such and such thing will happen, that such and such an institute will, will materialize in the future. He could easily said that, but he never did that. Rather, he gave just subtle hints to Yogananda. So this means that Swami Sri Yukteswar was such a grounded person whose feet were firmly on the earth and whose head was in the haven of heaven. He was a strict disciplinarian and a self-realized master who was always in communion with God. So, and he was softer than a flower where kindness was concerned, and he was stronger than thunder where principles were at stake. So, he was so, so it was not that he was only kind or he was only a strict disciplinarian. So he walked the middle path, as Patriji always says. So Swami Sri Yukteswarji was kind where kindness was required, and at the same time, he was also stronger than thunder where his principles were at stake. Because he was a man of ideals, he was a man of principles, and he never gave anyone the leverage of taking advantage of him, of making him deviate from his principles, of his ideals. So, so now, masters, there are a few worth mentioning incidents that happened during Yogananda's stay in his guru's ashram. And we know that Paramahansa Yogananda, he spent 10 long years with Swami Sri Yukteswarji to pursue his discipleship. And so, in these 10 long years, he obviously had very enriching experiences. And let me share a few experiences that Yogananda had in his guru's ashram on how to live life meaningfully. So now what happened was that once a disciple, he came to Swami Sri Yukteswar in his ashram and he expressed his doubts that Guruji, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm worthy enough to walk the spiritual path. And so, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, he told such beautiful words. He said that forget the past. The vanished lives of all men are dark with many shames. Human conduct is ever unreliable until man is anchored in the divine. Everything in the future will improve if you are making the spiritual effort now. So let's just read these lines again, and then we will understand its profound and beautiful significance. So I'll just read these lines again. Forget the past. The vanished lives of all men are dark with many shames. Human conduct is ever unreliable until man is anchored in the divine. Everything in future will improve if you are making a spiritual effort now. So friends, even I used to think earlier that, I have so many flaws in me. I have committed so many sins, not only in this life, but also in my past lives. So I used to doubt that whether I am even worthy to walk the spiritual path. But friends, when I read these lines, it banished my ignorance. It banished, all the doubts that I had. And I realized that only and only this path will increase my awareness. It will help, break away all the shackles of ignorance, of delusion. And only this path will liberate me from the cycles of birth and death. So Archana ji, again, to reiterate, never give up, because only this path will banish everything, will help you break away all the shackles. So, even I feel that when you read these lines, you will have all the answers to your questions, and your determination and your will be stronger to be persistent, to have a little bit of perseverance in walking this path. So friends, this beautiful teaching from Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, it states that we all are worthy to attain divine realization, irrespective of what we have done, irrespective of our mistakes, of our flaws. If not now, then when? We have to start somewhere. We have to start, sometime, and this is the time now. So don't delay your journey to self-realization, to the divine realization. So, Masters, this was one of the incident, and then there was another incident that Yogananda, he experienced in his guru's ashram. So what happened was that, in Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji's ashram, there were a lot of mosquitoes, and Yogananda, he was not used to so many mosquitoes, because back in his home in Calcutta, there was a mosquito net that they used. And here in his guru's ashram, there was no mosquito net. So Yogananda, he was bitten from head to toe every day during his meditations, during sleep, and during other chores. And when Yogananda, he mentioned about this predicament to his guru, then again, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, he said so beautiful lines that again, it touched my heart, and I'm sure that it will touch you as well. So Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji said, is the whole world going to change for you? Change yourself. Get rid of your disturbing consciousness. Is the whole world going to change for you? Change yourself. Get rid of your disturbing consciousness. And friends, with this realization, Yogananda, he went to bed, and not even a single mosquito ventured near Yogananda. So now, with changing his consciousness and with some yogic powers, Yogananda was now even able to prevent mosquitoes from coming near to him. And Masters, in our lives too, when we are confronted with difficult situations, when we are confronted with difficult people, then what do? That we pray to God, that God, please change these people, please change these situations or these circumstances, because I'm not able to handle them. So, what we are doing? We are expecting others to change. But by expecting others to change, we are only increasing our own misery. And Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, he gave such a beautiful solution to this. He said that we should not expect that anyone is going to change for us. We have to change for ourselves and get rid of the consciousness that disturbs us. So if some event, person, situation, circumstance is making us angry, fearful, shameful, it is triggering any of the negative emotion in us, then it clearly shows that the hurt is already present within us. And that person or that event is only a facilitator, which shows what needs to be healed within us. And once we heal that part of us, then we will no longer be affected with those people, those situations or events in our life. So we should be thankful to those people, to those situations, because they have helped us heal from within. And Masters, when we heal that part of us, then we will no longer be affected by them, and we will be back on our life's track, flowing smoothly with the flow of life. Again, such a beautiful wisdom that was shared by Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji. And, it helps us also in realizing that how we should live our life, because, as we are humans, we also deal with difficult people, with difficult situations. And when we expect and when we put the onus of change to others, then we are just postponing our soul's evolution. Rather, we should change ourselves so that by changing our consciousness, nothing triggers us. So, masters, and Swami Sri Yukteswarji, he also used to often tell his disciples that wisdom is the greatest cleanser. Through wisdom only we get so much knowledge. We get that knowledge that how we should navigate in our life, how we should go about in our life. This only wisdom can teach. And when we meditate, then this wisdom, it gets integrated into our subconscious, and meditation helps us to live our life from that place of wisdom that we have received. So that is how important knowledge, and that is also how important that this knowledge should be transformed into wisdom by living that wisdom. So, masters, now let's go forward with the book. And now Yogananda, we know, in one of the early sessions, I had mentioned that from his early childhood, Yogananda had a desire, which was to go to the Himalayas. Why? Because Yogananda had this awareness from his childhood. And he knew this, that in one of his past life, he was a yogi in the Himalayas. Right from the childhood, he had this awareness that he was a yogi in one of his past life. And so this urged him, this propelled him to go in this life as well to the Himalayas. And so Yogananda, he used to think that he will find divine only in the Himalayas. Only when he meditates in the Himalayas, then he will find the experience of that cosmic consciousness, and he will have an experience of that divine consciousness. And so he told his guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, that I want to go to the Himalayas and I want to meditate there because I know that I will find divine only in the Himalayas. And then, listening to these words, Swami Sri Yukteswar said, and I quote, so Swami Sri Yukteswar ji said, that wisdom is better sought from a man of self-realization than from an inert mountain. So what Swami Sri Yukteswar is saying, so he's just giving again a subtle hint to Yogananda that you have got your guru who's right in front of you, and now you want to go to the Himalayas to have that divine experience. But Yogananda, he ignored his guru's wish and he set his mind that come what may, he will go to the Himalayas. So now Yogananda, he starts preparing for his trip to the Himalayas, and then he thinks, a thought comes to him that, okay, now I'm going to the Himalayas. So there is also another saint which I've heard so much about. So let me meet that saint before I embark my journey for the Himalayas. And so the next day he goes to his college and he meets his Sanskrit professor, and he asks his Sanskrit professor that, I remember once you had mentioned about a very great enlightened saint who was also a disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya. So can you give me his address? Because I want to meet that great saint. And then his Sanskrit professor from the college, he said, okay, are you talking about Ram Gopal Mazumdar, who's also called as the Sleepless Saint? So this professor, he gave the address of Ram Gopal Mazumdar, which was near Tarakeshwar in West Bengal. And then Yogananda, he set out for his journey to the Himalayas, and in between he set out to meet this enlightened saint Ram Gopal Mazumdar, also known as the Sleepless Saint. And so he reached Tarakeshwar, and friends, when Yogananda, he reached Tarakeshwar temple, this is a very, very famous temple in West Bengal. And when Yogananda, he reached this temple, so he recalled so many miraculous, so many healing stories that took place in this temple. And one of the miracle had happened in his own family. So what had happened was that one of his aunt, her husband was suffering from a fatal disease, which the doctors had said that, there's no hope. And so Yogananda's aunt, she went to this temple and she prayed. For 7 days, she prayed that, Lord, please heal my husband. And she prayed consistently for 7 days. And on the 7th day, a herb materialized in her hand. And with this herb, she, made some tea and gave this tea to her husband. And at that very moment, her husband was free from that fatal disease, and that disease never reappeared. So there are many, many, if you Google it, there are many healing stories that are associated with Tarakeshwar temple. And now, when Yogananda, he entered this temple shrine, so he saw this altar, and this altar, it contained nothing but a round stone, as you can see it on the screen. So this temple just has a round stone image of Lord. And Yogananda, he thought to himself that God dwells in each and every being. So why should I bow to any outward expression like a stone in this case? And so without bowing to the stone image, he left the temple premises. And now Yogananda, though he had this address of Ram Gopal Mazumdar, still he was not able to locate where Ram Gopal Mazumdar's house is. And every passerby who used to go past by, he used to ask about this address, and none could provide him with the accurate directions. And so Yogananda, he kept on walking and walking in the scorching heat of the sun, and it was already night. And then Yogananda had to stay in somebody's place in the night, and then early morning he again, left to locate the address. He was still not able to find where his home was, and nobody was able to help him. And then in the early morning, a stranger, he approached Yogananda, and he said to Yogananda that I was about to leave this place, but since your intention to meet me was good, so I stayed back. And he further added that your college professor, he has no right to give you my address. And Yogananda realized that there was no need for any formal introduction. He had met the man that he had come for. And this man, he knew everything about Yogananda. And you know by now that this man was Ram Gopal Mazumdar, the sleepless saint, which Yogananda had come all the way to meet. And now this saint, that is Ram Gopal Mazumdar, he asked a very interesting question. And this again question, behind this question lay again a profound teaching for us. So the saint asked a question to Yogananda that where do you think God is? And Yogananda replied that he is within me and he is everywhere. So Ram Gopal Mazumdar, he replied that if God is everywhere, if God is omnipresent, then why didn't you bow before the infinite in the stone form at Tarakeshwar temple yesterday? It was your pride that caused you the punishment that none of the passerby could provide you with the exact directions for my place. And the saint explained that the devotee, he sometimes thinks that only my way to find God is the right way. So you understanding that this was a kind of little punishment that Yogananda got for not paying reverence, for not bowing in front of the stone image in the Tarakeshwar temple. Why? Because friends, we start our journey with meditation, and with meditation we realize that God is present within us. But the journey doesn't end there. The journey has just started from there. And then this realization that God is within us, it then starts extending that God also dwells in each and every person, in each and every speck of the creation of the universe. So the God also then dwells in that stone image in the Tarakeshwar temple. So, and the saint, he added that the holy shrines in Tarakeshwar and other places, they're highly venerated, means that they're highly respected, they're highly revered, they're highly sacred, and they are the nuclear centers of spiritual power. So that is why, we feel such strong vibrations, such strong energy when we go to certain temples, when we go to certain shrines, and because they have the energies and we feel those energies, we feel connected to those energies, and those energies, they immediately uplift us. So friends, now, like all the other events mentioned in this book, this meeting of Yogananda with Ram Gopal Mazumdar, it has answered yet another question which we generally have, which is God present in the idols or the holy shrines? So we have this understanding now that yes, God is everywhere. He is all pervading. He is within us. He is outside of us. So then this great saint Ram Gopal Mazumdar, he said to Yogananda that I see you are running away from your master. And he said that he has everything you need. You should return to him. And he added that mountains cannot be your guru. And friends, these were the same words which were said by Swami Sri Yukteswar to Yogananda as well. And he further said to Yogananda that your guru, that your guru's place is the sacred mountain where you will find this kingdom of God and the cosmic experience of divine that you are seeking, that you are longing for, will too come to you through your guru. So now Yogananda, he realized that how ignorant he had been by not listening to his guru's words. The guru who had everything, the guru who was in every moment in communion with the divine. And at that very moment, Yogananda's lifelong obsession with the Himalayas, it got vanished. So friends, this happens with us too. When we get something that we have been longing for a very long time, and then, when we get it, then what happens? That we refuse to acknowledge it. We refuse to appreciate it. Why? Because, that thing, it held importance only till the time when we don't have it in our hands. But now when we possess it, now when we own it, now it has lost its significance. Now we have forgotten how deeply we had longed for it. So now Yogananda, he's also realizing that the guru is all there with him, and the guru he has everything that he needs, and still he ran away from his guru to some mountains. And then when another great saint, Ram Gopal Mazumdar, he pointed out that it is his guru that he all needs, then he realized his mistakes. And and friends, just to add that Ram Gopal Mazumdar, he was no ordinary saint. You have a good idea by now that Yogananda had not told even a thing about himself. He had not told even a thing about why he came to visit meet the saint, but the saint knew everything about him. And this saint, for 45 years, he had meditated in the inaccessible caves of Bengal for 19 years every single day. And this saint, he did not used to sleep. And therefore, he was named as the Sleepless Saint. So friends, again, we have a lot to learn from Ram Gopal Mazumdar, which is the reason why Yogananda, he mentioned him in his autobiography. Just a moment, friends. And then Ram Gopal, he explained to Yogananda, a very interesting point. He explained that what happens to a body when we sleep and when we meditate. So so he said that when we sleep, then what happens? That our muscles relax, our mind relaxes, but our heart, our lungs, our circulatory system is still at work. They do not get rest even during sleep. But in meditation, when one reaches the superconscious state, when one connects with the divine, then the cosmic energy takes over. And during this time, even the internal organs, they get rest. And friends, throughout this book, we will see so many references on the importance of meditation, the bliss that one experiences during meditation, the instant guidance we receive for our challenging situations. So we get answers to everything in our meditation. The list of benefits of meditation is endless. But what usually happens is that, we are conditioned in our life to go after the worldly pleasures, that thinking that only the material things will give us that happiness, will give us that contentment. And when man pursues these worldly pursuits, then he's never satisfied. Why? Because when he gets because when one of the worldly pursuit he gets that, then he again, starts chasing another thing and then another. So he gets stuck in this vicious cycle, and he never gets that satisfaction. He never gets that contentment, and he's on a constant lookout for something else. And what is the something else? It is nothing but your soul's desire to find God. Because it is only the divine that can give you that everlasting peace, that everlasting joy, that everlasting happiness, which are our true treasures. So, friends, with such profound learnings and a beautiful time spent with Ram Gopal Mazumdar, it was now time for Yogananda to bid farewell. And within, within a short time that Yogananda, he spent with Ram Gopal Mazumdar, an instant reverence, an instant love had developed in his heart, that his eyes were welled up with tears. It happens sometimes that when we meet someone, an instant connection is developed, an instant reverence is developed, that, our eyes, they get filled with tears of joy. And the same thing happened with Yogananda. And so, it was not only Yogananda that had this reverence for the saint, Ram Gopal Mazumdar too. He had that mutual reverence for Yogananda. And out of love, he said to Yogananda that I cannot let you go from here empty-handed. I want to do something for you. And at that very moment, Yogananda, he was healed of a pain in his back that had been troubling him intermittently for years. So you're saying that when an instant connection is developed, you feel that joy, you feel that bliss, which nothing else can give. And this was an enlightening meeting of Yogananda with the great saint Ram Gopal Mazumdar, the sleepless saint. And friends, this is it for today. And we will continue with our learnings in the next session, where we will learn some more enchanting tales. And we will also learn how Swami Sri Yukteswar, he gave that divine experience to Yogananda, where Yogananda, he experienced that divinity within, where he had that experience of cosmic consciousness. And in the next lesson, friends, we will also learn the role of astrology in our lives through Swami Sri Yukteswar. So I will stop the sharing now, and I open this platform for all your sharings now, Masters.
Yes, Masters, if anyone would like to share, please raise your hand so that we'll unmute you.
Hello, Didi, this is Archana.
Yes, Archana ji.
It's been such a wonderful experience, Didi, as if the divine has been messaging through you and it has such a healing properties. I wanted to share one thing, Didi, that these sages have written their own experiences. Once I was meditating in the ashram of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and while meditating, I have multiple visions coming on my way. And person next to me, he just highlighted those visions which I was personally experiencing just after the meditation. And he told, actually, what I saw in my vision while meditating was that an aged lady, adult lady, uh, with a big bindi on her forehead, she was constantly popping up in my vision while meditating. And the person next to me just elaborated her sari, the bindi's color, the forehead, and he also narrated that she was a middle aged lady. So the thing is that we all experience such spiritual awakening, but we somehow ignore and get back to our worldly nature again. But these sages continue and they pen it down. So thank you so much for being so brilliant in your explanation, and that's really motivating me to get dive deep into my meditation practices, Didi. Thank you.
Wow, Archana ji, you had such an amazing experience. See, what you're talking about from the book, you experienced that in your own life.
Yeah,
So,
Didi.
you are a testament for what we are talking about. Amazing, Archana ji. Thank you so much for your sharing.
Thank you, Didi.
Yes, Ram Garu ji, please, you can unmute yourself.
Thanks a lot, Ruchi ji. Very beautiful wisdom sharing. And we had another session ongoing, so I had to be a little bit silent mode. And the first statement that you shared, depend upon the creative life forces because medicines have limitations. It was the similar wisdom that was being shared in the earlier session or the session that is ongoing, wherein the master who is sharing her wisdom, explaining about how she left her physical body after few wild honeybees sting her, and she leaving her physical body, and how she could meet few astral masters upon which she could get back again to the physical body, and the whole journey of how basically the doctors confirmed she is no more alive and then being back into life. So it is the same continuation when you have spoken about this, that we all need to connect to these creative life forces, and then everything in future will improve only and only if we are making a spiritual effort now. It's such a profound confirmation that we are on the path, a profound waking statement to everyone else as well. So very beautiful. And the story of the mosquitoes, we have to change within ourselves. And on top, the way you have added to it, that whenever we have difficulties in life, we always ask for guidance to get rid of those people or situations, but rather we never seek a guidance of how can I change from inside. So apart from these lessons, stories, wisdoms that come from book, these additions that you do is so very connecting, profound. So very grateful to you. And when you started sharing about the sleepless saint, I had internet, let's say, disconnection. I have to reconnect on YouTube and listen to that wisdom. So thanks a lot, Ruchiji. Very grateful to you.
Thank you so much, Ram Garu. Your presence itself, it uplifts the energy it uplifts the collective energy. And thank you so much for bringing in the wisdom from the other session as well. It helps us to enrich ourselves. And, such is the synchronicity that the same thing is being discussed in the other session as well. And yes, again, we have another living example of what we are just sharing from this book. We just saw it in reality, how this thing happened, that the creative life force has no limitation. Even if it is death, whatever it is. And going further, we will also see in the book that how people who were dead, they were also brought back to life only through the grace of the gurus, only through the grace of the divine. So thank you so much, Ram Garu, for your beautiful sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, Sureshi, please unmute yourself. Yes, Sureshi, you can unmute yourself.
Namaste, good evening. Sorry, some technical issue. I couldn't unmute quickly. I do, sincerely and really appreciate you for the wonderful flow of your message. It's so inspiring and persuading me to read the book again. And almost all the words of yours gives a picture of that life what he has lived. His travel, his meeting his guru, conversation with the guru, and all this. And one of the quotes, what you have, out of 2 or 3 quotes I have noted, one particular quote I really, I think it has a lot of meaning, which goes like this: "Forget the past. The vanished lives of all men are dark, many shames. Human contact is ever unreliable until anchored in the divine. Everything in future will improve if you are making a spiritual effort now." I think this is a very, very powerful quote, and it will be of great blessings for many spiritual and spiritual uh, those who are on the spiritual path, and also for uh, the freshers who have no idea about the spirituality. So instead of thinking about the past and have the guilt and being in the dark, this actually evacuates such people out and giving a great comfort. Something really, out of all this, for me, this is my this I just keep so close to my heart. And thank you so much for this forum, and thank you so much, Master Ruchi, for giving this wonderful session. Thank you so much. Gratitude and namaste, pranam.
Yeah, thank you so much, Suresh. Even I resonated so much with these lines, and similar lines are also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna, he says to Arjun that he who ceaselessly meditates on me, he quickly loses the effects of his past bad actions. Know this for certain, that the devotee who puts his trust in me never perishes. So
Yes.
these lines also have the same meanings what Swami Sri Yukteswar just mentioned in this book as well, that we should not dwell upon our past, upon our mistakes, upon our flaws, but we should only concentrate on being better than what we were yesterday. Only then we will be able to progress in our lives, and we will be able to evolve in our soul's journey. So thank you so much, Suresh ji, for your
So kind
beautiful
of you.
sharing.
So kind of you. Well said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes,
Ruchi, you
Nilima.
still have time? Just one
Yes.
second.
Yes, I have. Please go ahead.
Okay, just in short, it was again a beautiful synchronicities from today morning. Ram was not giving me any opportunity to share, because he was keep on sharing whatever I thought. And but yeah, coming back to today's session, it was truly a blessing for me today to join your session, because there was quite a lot of learnings that was there. And when you are sharing, only one thing that came in my mind is that, like even how Paramahansa Yogananda thought, like, to go to Himalayas and to gain more practice, or to see some masters and so on. I see that, all of us here are in a way masters, that we teach each other, when the moment comes. So we are not going anywhere here in the form of all the saints. We have been uplifting each other, and I see that every person here, especially you today, like in the form of all these energies that you have been carrying, giving us a lot of wisdom that we don't need to go elsewhere. We are just taking that wisdom within. So thank you, thank you. And I love this mosquito example. I know that was one of the things, because even the small things, how we get disturbed. And once we remove that consciousness, like from the small things, then, nothing can touch us. Like we are focused, we are determined in our journey. And yes, like this, we say also Buddha Kesha, right? The person who doesn't sleep, and very enriching also to listen about Ram Gopal Mazumdar Guruji, and how he, like, without any word, how all these people know that the purpose that, like they go to see, and like how beautifully they put everything in order. Like, so it's a wonderful session, and though your time is limited, still thank you for coming up and sharing this beautiful, beautiful wisdom today. So grateful to you always, Ruchi.
No, thank you so much, Nilima, for being there in all the sessions, and right from start till the end, and for helping in covering up any technical glitch that I suffer, that I have sometimes. And thank you for that, Nilima.
I'm learning quite a lot, Ruchi, so it's my pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Ruchi, it is Malati here.
Yes, Malati-ji, namaste.
Namaste. You were talking about the mosquito example. I have personally experienced that, because there was a time when the children used to get angry. I used to, be very annoyed with them, and sort of they're not listening to me. They're being this, they're being that. Okay, they have no respect for me, etc. I don't know, through meditation, at some point that changed. Within myself, I started to say, hey, am I really listening to what they are saying? Or am I putting my own ideas and thoughts into what they are saying, and my own meaning to what they are saying? Okay. And I realized that I have to change myself. And that came through meditation. And I tell you, my relationship with my sons are so much better now, because I don't jump in when they are talking. I don't, I listen to them. I try to understand what they are saying. And then they give me a platform to say what I would like to say as well. I tell them, I need to tell you what I meant by it. And so it is very true. The example of mosquito is very true. We have to change before we point our finger to other people to change. That makes a lot of difference.
So beautiful, Malati-ji. For people to understand that the change happens only when we change from inside. For people to have this realization, it takes ages. And you such beautifully explained this realization. And, even I have learned when you did this sharing that you listened to your sons and you did not intervene, and you actually listened. You gave all ears to them. And that makes a difference, because the children, they just want to be heard and not to be judged or not to be given unsolicited advice. Yes, Malati-ji. So even I am learning from you, and thank you so much for this beautiful sharing, Malati-ji. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Yes, Sureshji, your hand is raised. Please unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
Master, sorry for coming again. I have
No, not a problem.
noted one of the quotes. It goes like this: God is in you," and you said something. The second line, I am, I have written as "outside is yours," something like that. Second line is not clear to me. You
Can you
mean to
repeat?
say,
Can you repeat your lines? What you said?
I have written God is you. While talking, you said God is in you, and something about outside you said. So that second line is not catching.
Okay, so I said that God is within us and God is also outside us. So when
Okay.
Yogananda, he did not bow to that stone image. Why? Because he thought that God dwells within each one of us. So why should we bow to any of the exterior or the external expressions? But when Ram Gopal Mazumdar, he explained to him that God is omnipresent, God is all pervading, he is present everywhere, not only within us, but also outside us in every speck of the creation. Then
Okay.
that ignorance of Yogananda got banished. Yes, Suresh.
But we understand from this, our Bhattaji, Guruji's Guru, that all are God. So theoretically, human beings also are gods. So earlier we studied that God is everywhere in each, and it's there in tree, it is there in mountain and everything. But later I understand that God is, oneness is there. So how do we say it? It is in nature or in the form of God is there in every human being soul, or how does it manifest?
Okay, so Suresh, this is very simple because when we start with a practice of meditation, then we start with realizing the divinity within us. But when we continue with our meditation practice, we realize that this divinity is not only within us, but it is present in each and every other human being, in each and every speck of creation, because the whole cosmos is what? It is created by that one. So when it is created by that one, it is, so when this whole cosmos is an image of that one, then that creator is also present in each and every human being, in each and every plant, mineral, animal kingdom, in each and every speck of his creation. And then we start living with that oneness among everything around us. So Yogananda ji had only said that, and that we start with this realization that the divinity is within us. But when we evolve, when we continue with our journey of meditation, then that realization comes that this divinity is not only within us, it is present everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well said, well said. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you.
So I read your messages. Thank you so much, Shri Kala ji, Mariam ji, Naina ji, Dr. Lingeshwari ji, Anna ji, Soumya ji, and Anna ji, thank you so much for switching on your videos all the time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, Ruchi, then shall we continue with our meditation?
Yes, sure, please.
Yeah. So, shall I take over?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes.
Okay.
Please do that.
Thank you. Yes, my dear friends, the people who are on YouTube, we would request you to join on Zoom so that we would like to stop the live sharing now, and we shall meditate for some time. Just even though a little bit of time, we shall do for some minutes of meditation. And Ram, may I request you to stop the live stream?